In a village where love was a crime, two souls dared to choose each other, but their only escape was a secret cult, one that demanded a sacrifice so terrifying most lovers never returned alive. This is the story of Nalo and Zira, and the price they paid for forbidden love. But what this cult demanded from the lovers, no one in the village had ever survived. Stay till the end to discover what they sacrificed and why the spirits of love still whisper their names today. In the forested kingdom of Omukanda, love was measured like wealth and forbidden between families of unequal status. Nalo, a humble drummer, and Zira, daughter of the chief's advisor, met only under moonlight, where the wind hid their laughter and the river carried their promises. As the adults grew suspicious, the lovers' world became smaller until guards patrolled the river and Zira's father locked her within the compound's ivory walls. Still, no decree could stop hearts that beat like twin drums. One night, a blind herbalist whispered to them through the fence, speaking of a hidden order known as the Secret Cult of Lovers, a spiritual society older than the village and loyal only to love. The cult offered sanctuary to those who defied laws, tribes, or spirits to protect a bond the world rejected. But the herbalist warned that the cult demanded a price, not in blood, but in essence. Love may be free, he rasped, but to keep it, something must be given. Guided by fireflies, Nalo and Zira crossed the sleeping village and entered the Whispering Grove, where a circle of ancient baobabs formed a natural temple. At its center stood the cult's matriarch, the spirit bride, veiled in smoke and silk, her voice echoing as though spoken by many mouths at once. Around her, spectral lovers danced, not bodies, but memories, shadows, and silhouettes, shimmering like lantern light in fog. The spirit bride welcomed them with neither judgment nor praise. The spirit bride announced the rules. To join the cult, one lover must sacrifice either their voice, their memory, or their shadow. She said, the voice for those willing to be unheard, the memory for those willing to forget, and the shadow for those willing to be unseen by fate. Zira trembled, for she treasured her voice, a singer like a songbird, and feared losing the song she wrote for Nalo. Nalo feared memory, for what is love without remembering why it began? They asked for one night to decide, and the cult granted it, until the honeymoon set. The lovers returned to the riverbank, where their dreams spoke louder than their fears. Nalo argued for sacrifice, Zira argued against loss, the night argued for destiny. As dawn stained the sky bronze, Zira stunned Nalo by placing his hands over her heart. If love is to cost us, let it cost me what I fear most, she vowed, to surrender her voice, not out of duty, but because her voice was the very proof that her choice was hers. Yet the spirits were not impressed by bravery alone. When they returned to the grove, the spirit bride touched Zira's throat, and her songs curled into smoke. But instead of silence, the ground itself began to hum, as though Zira's voice had simply changed its home. For sacrifice in the cult was never death, it was transformation. Nalo wept not because she could no longer sing, but because the world sounded different without her. For a season, the lovers lived happily in the cult's hidden domain beneath the roots of the Whispering Grove. The cult gave them shelter, food, and the protection of spirits that blurred the edges of reality. But no sacrifice, no matter how noble, is without consequence. Zira could no longer speak her affection, nor sing her promises, and though she smiled with her eyes, loneliness crept between them like a third companion. One night, Nalo realized the truth. Voices in the cult did not vanish, they wandered. He heard Zira's unspoken words echo in the river, in the rustle of leaves, and in the beat of the talking drums. Her love still spoke, but through the world. The spirit bride appeared once more and revealed the moral hidden within all sacrifice. To give for love is sacred, but love must learn to give back, or both will starve. Nalo felt the river ask him a silent question. What would he give? Nalo left the cult at dawn and confronted Zira's family, not with defiance but with music. His drums told the village what Zira could no longer say, how love should not be judged by rank, how hearts were not cattle to be traded, how even spirits made room for lovers. His rhythm moved the elders to tears, and Zira's father, hearing her daughter's voice hidden within the notes, understood at last what he had denied. When Zira returned to the village, the cult lifted its veil. Though her voice never returned to her throat, it found sanctuary in her music, her laughter, and the stories villagers told for generations. The lovers became symbols of brave affection, and the cult, which people once whispered as rumor, became legend. Some say the spirits of lovers still walk the whispering grove, guarding those who choose love against the world's cruelty. Others say that on certain nights, if you listen to the drums, you can hear Zira singing still. If you enjoy these African folk tales of magic, love, and spirits, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any time I upload a new video. See you in my next one.